Hello, everybody, and welcome to Connection Guide to Charlotte Douglas International Airport by RC3 Miller. This is going to be the first one of these little things I'm doing since I'm taking a trip through here. Charlotte Douglas International is a couple of American Airlines. Looking over things we're going to evaluate how easy it is to connect, food options, upkeep, seating, and charging stations. All kind of important things you're looking at when you are having to choose connecting airports. Charlotte's actually one of my more favorite airports to connect at, but I've never spent that much time there, so this is my first chance to kind of evaluate it. As you can see right now, I'm exiting out of one of the smaller planes in Concourse E, the primary concourse you're going to use for your smaller connecting planes. I'm walking through this concourse to get to the central terminal where all the other gates check off from. It took me about 5 minutes, so if you have a tight connection, you're getting out of Concourse E, it's not a problem. Concourse E, located on the map, is one of the newer concourses that added to the hotel or to the airport. It was opened in 2002. It serves 341 flights a day from 36 gates. Now, as you're walking by, you'll see your typical bunched up food options at the intersections of the terminal. Of course, your Starbucks, your smaller shops. Pretty much most of your normal airport fare you're going to find in here. Your newsstands, so on and so forth. Here we're kind of at the center of the E concourse. Like I said, it's about a 5 to 7 minute walk from here to the central terminal to get your other gates. So if you're running a little tight, this is one of the better airports to connect in. As you can see, a little more stylized choices here. And from here, we're moving on to Concourse D. Concourse D is the international concourse. This concourse is a little bit more conventional, kind of normal, a little bit claustrophobic with the low ceilings. Also very small. It's got 13 gates. It's your primary international terminal. So you need to do any sort of currency exchange, so on and so forth. You'll find your stations here. Also, a lot like Terminal E, it had the same kind of food options. It was relatively uncrowded. Right here, I'm just kind of in between Concourse D and the main concourse. You can see most of your shops, your bookstones, your bookstores, everything else off to the side here. We're walking now into the central terminal area, which is where you'll find most of your specialized food options. One of the things I like about this airport is that it has rocking chairs all over the place. And near the rocking chairs are your electrical sockets, which are decent access to electrical sockets, but not outstanding access. You kind of have to hunt for them a little bit, but they're in between the rocking chairs off to your left by the trees. To your right, as you walk through the central terminal, is your food options, where you'll find your specialized Carolina barbecue, just a couple of local cuisine places, and also your normal pizza places, your normal cuisine that's in the airport. Nice piano player played through all throughout. Also on the top level above your food choices, you also have the rocking chairs, so you can sit back, rock, and watch the planes go out from the terminal. This airport is actually not that large. Walking through Central Terminal will take you like maybe 2 to 3 minutes tops if you're not going to stop for food. So once again, an awesome place for tight connections. You can see there's your B concourse that we're going to next. This is one of the two main American Airlines concourses for the larger jets. Now this one, it is actually smaller in size than E concourse. You can walk from one to the other a little bit faster. C concourse is almost an exact replica of it. This one is more crowded. Has more of the high density flights. As you can see, it's kind of a little tussle walk through. Not enough seating, a lot of long lines. It kind of ran out in the hallway, kind of had to walk an obstacle course a little bit. You do have your typical in the middle food, your Bojangles, your Starbucks, everything else in this. But once again, from the central terminal, not a long walk, so you're not going to have problems walking through and getting anything. There's a farmer's market there, creating more organic foods. And moving on to Concourse A. Concourse A to Concourse C, you're probably walking 10 to 15 minutes at most. This has a nice little entrance exhibit there about the person who's the namesake for Charlotte itself. Now, Concourse A is very blank. It's mostly the non-one world carriers. So your food options that didn't quite make the cut in the other terminals, kind of what they shoved in here. And also, this terminal is probably the blankest one. There's plenty of seats, plenty of space. Any place to chill and not be noticed. Terminal A is going to be your best options. As you can see, just a very small flow, even for a holiday like this day, a Friday before Martin Luther King Day when everybody's out traveling. This place is notoriously not a lot of people, so if you need a nice quiet space, that's your best. Concourse C is pretty much a mirror image of Concourse B. It's a little wider at the end. It's got 18 gates. It's also used for American Airlines flights. As you can see, not as completely packed as Concourse B. A little more walking, but same amount of seat space. Now, a seat It can get crowded from time to time, so if you're on a flight, it's going to be packed. Your seating's going to be very limited. You're probably going to have to stand. It's got a couple of local food choices, but local food, your Starbucks, whatever you saw in Terminal B, you'll probably see in Concourse C. And like I said, this airport is pretty much a smaller airport compared to Atlanta, compared to the other major airports. Kind of expanded out as U.S. Airways and now American is going into it. Nice Sbarro's Italian eatery there. You see that a lot in airports. And also this burger bar, which looks pretty good. Bad Daddy's Hamburgers. It was stepped in there and had one. It was pretty decent. So looking at things to evaluate, easy connection, 9 out of 10. If you have less than 30 minutes, I'd probably be a little worried, but they're not going to book that. So you should have no problem. It's about 15 minutes of walking the extreme ends of the terminal, from one end to the other. Food options, 9 out of 10. A lot of good local options, but also some nicer upscale options as well. Carolina barbecue, so on and so forth. Upkeep, it was a little ratty in some places, but well maintained and still a lot of current facilities. Seating 7 out of 10. You might have to stand for sometimes, but other times there was enough seating as long as your flight wasn't too crowded. And as far as charging stations go, they were a little difficult to locate, but could still locate some. Not the most plentiful, but you didn't have to fight for them either. So overall, that's my evaluation, and I hope you enjoyed the connection guide to Charlotte Douglas International Airport.